I, the haystack of horrors, 1325. The year is 1325. You wake to the smell of rot and the bite of fleas. Your home is a single-room hut, shared with goats and kin. There is no privacy, only the communal struggle for breath. You relieve yourself into a bucket and toss it into a street that is more river than road, a sludge of human waste and mystery. Breakfast is a bowl of pottage, a grey, gloopy stew that has been simmering for weeks, and bread so hard it's bulked with sawdust. You wash it down with weak ale because the water in the stream is a cocktail of parasites. Your life is an endurance test. 12 hours of backbreaking labor in a field that isn't yours, wearing a single wool tunic that has become a second, itchier skin. If you get sick, the doctor offers you leeches or prayer. If you survive to age 40, you are a miracle. You fall into bed exhausted, listening to the rats in the thatch, praying for a tomorrow that looks exactly like today. 2. The Imperial Architect, 1729 to 1796. Centuries pass, and the world grows larger, but no less dangerous. In 1744, a German girl named Sophie arrives in the freezing heart of Russia. She is a pawn, married to the immature Grand Duke Peter, but she has the mind of a predator. She masters the language, converts to orthodoxy, and becomes Catherine. When Peter fails Russia, Catherine seizes it. In a bloodless coup in 1762, she dons a military uniform and leads the Imperial Guard. She becomes an empress of contradictions, a woman who writes letters to Voltaire and Diderot about enlightenment and liberty, yet tightens the shackles on millions of Russian serfs to keep the nobility loyal. She expands the empire to the Black Sea, carves up Poland, and survives the terrifying peasant revolt of Pugachev. She lives and loves on her own terms, leaving behind an empire that is feared, sophisticated, and vast. A woman who proved that power is not inherited, but taken and held with an iron grip. 3. The Red Silence, 600s, 1994. While Catherine built an empire in the snow, the jungle of the Yucatan held a secret drenched in blood-red dust. In 1994, archaeologists in Palenque found the Red Queen. Buried in a hidden chamber beside the great King Pikali, she lay covered in toxic cinnabar, mercury sulfide that symbolized the life force of the rising sun. She was adorned in jade, the stone of eternity, her face covered by a mask of 75 mosaic tiles. Though she left no written name, her burial spoke of divine status. She was likely Ixtacpu Ajau, the moon to Pikali's sun. Her presence confirms that Maya women were not shadows. They were the bridges between gods and men, the keepers of sacred lineages. She was prepared for a journey through Xibalba, the underworld, equipped with obsidian blades and spiritual offerings destined to be reborn in the scarlet light of the Maya cosmos. 4. The Broken Column, 1907 to 1954. The timeline shifts to the 20th century, to the Casa Azul in Mexico. Frida Kahlo's life was defined by 2 accidents: a streetcar crash that impaled her and broke her spine, and her marriage to the muralist Diego Rivera. Frida didn't paint the world. She painted her internal anatomy. Bedridden for months, she turned her hospital bed into a studio. She painted the broken column, showing her body held together by a metal corset and nails. She embraced her indigenous roots, her bisexuality, and her revolutionary communist politics. She lived through 30 surgeries, chronic pain, and heartbreak, yet she never blinked. Her final act of defiance was attending her first solo exhibition on a stretcher, greeting the crowd with a glass of tequila. Her final painting, a vibrant cluster of watermelons, carried the words, "Viva la vida." She died where she was born, leaving behind a legacy of pain transformed into a global icon of resistance.